know that the census is due this year on April 1st? And guess what? This time we can finally count as Caribbean. This year, all you have to do is 1. Check the race box, and 2. Write in your country of birth or ancestry. You can answer by the paper form, online, or by phone. Everybody counts in Census 2020. So count as Caribbean. Yes, we count.
Yeah! You gotta be firm in this time, son. You gotta be strong in this time, son. I'm a survivor. I will survive. I will survive.
Hey, Ridealong family, as you come and go ahead and share up the life, share up the thing, share up the thing. We have a lot to discuss. It's Thursday, and this Thursday we say is Dear Riders, dedicated to what you are dedicated to your questions, what you're talking about, what's hot in the media right now. It's all about you. It's Dear Riders live on Ridealong Live. So as you come in, share up the thing, say I share, let's go. Hey, Shaman, guys, listen. The keyword is I share. So share the program, put it on your page and say I share. All right, share the program, put it on your page and say I share. I share, Wendy. I share. Before you say anything else, I share. Yeah, I share. Nothing else right now. Nothing else. I don't want to hear nothing else. Just put it on your page and say I share. Andrea, how you doing? Everybody put it on your page and say I share and start a watch party. That's what I want you guys to do right now. I share, put it on your page and start a watch party. Good afternoon to you. Hey, how you doing, Jacinta? Big up yourself, big up yourself, big up yourself. Make sure I put this up at the top. This is Thursday. Dear Riders, big up yourself. I share. Wendy, you know we could talk, Wendy. Big up yourself. I share. Wendy, big up yourself. Big up yourself. Thank you so much for sharing. Lydia Joseph, thank you so much for sharing. We appreciate you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Charmaine, were you not hearing the audio? Charmaine Bernard, big up yourself. I share is a keyword. Yeah. I share is a keyword. How you doing, Judith Gibson, big up yourself. Thank you so much for sharing. I share. Jackie Chaitan, thank you so much. Jackie Chaitan and her son. I know you guys are watching right now. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for the share. Jacinta Langine. Oh, yeah. Langdon, sorry. Just Jocelyn Langdon, big up yourself. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. Strength, no weakness. Lydia Joseph, big up yourself. Saying hi to Deanne. Jocelyn Langdon, big up yourself. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for sharing, guys. It's Thursday. So again, on Thursday, what we do is we come here and we talk about some of the things that our viewers wants to hear. Our viewers have been conversating for the whole day, for the whole week on the page. Things that has been brewing and things that we need to discuss, that we need to talk about. And this is why we have a program like this Thursday. And every Thursday we're joined by my guest, and not only my guest, she's the producer of the program. So put some handle on her name. Producer of the program, she is here with us. Yes, she is here with us. We have much to discuss. So as you're coming, guys, share the thing. Hey. Yeah. Denisa John, thank you so much for the share. Hey, who we have here? Dr. Zarina Frederick, big up yourself. Thank you so much. Welcome to the thing. Share up the thing. Put it up on your page. Who else we have? We have Anna Boo, big up yourself. Thank you so much. Let me do this before we bring on Lynn, right? Let me do this and put this over on my personal page, because let me tell you something. Facebook, I've been doing some really crappy stuff these days. Facebook, I ain't gonna lie. Facebook, I've been really doing some crappy stuff these days. Really haven't been sending out notifications. It's a lot of people saying they ain't get notification at all when we come on anymore. So I have to put it on my page, and I had to start a watch party over on my page just so people could know that we're live. Then I had to start a watch party back over on the Ridealong page. So it's so hectic. It's so hectic. And I'm just trying to keep up with Facebook because they don't know what they're about, you know. They don't know what they're about. They've been doing some crazy stuff over the past week. So that's why I tell all you to share the program, because sometimes when we come in here and people say, well, they never get notification, they didn't even know we was on. But damn, we're on. All right. Some people get it, some people don't. So I don't know what's happening. I don't know what's happening, guys. So this is how you alert your friends. I'm going to do it right now. Start a watch party over here. This is how you alert your friends that we're on. We want you to share it or start a watch party and put it on your page. Let me do it right now. So then more of our supporters over there could get notification before we start the program. Because today we want to talk about a very interesting and important topic that is touching social media right now. As we look through our timeline, I'm sure that we saw so many different posts about what's happening in Minneapolis right now. It has spread. It's reached New York now. It's over to New York now, where people, even in New York, are protesting. And it's important that we talk about it because there are a lot of things that's going on. There's a lot of things that's happening that, I think that we always missing the mark, right? We always missing the mark. We always sometimes either not doing what we're supposed to do or doing too much of something. And I have a perspective on it I want to share with you, but I want to have this conversation with you guys to hear what you guys have to say on the topic. So that is why I say let's put it on a Thursday and let's get Lynn on the ball and let's start the conversation. Let us talk. Lynn, Lloyd, hey. Big up yourself. What's up?
Hey, a lot of people asking who is this?
Yeah, guys, this is Lois JJ.
Yes, I have on my little Wuhan week today. Yeah. I had it quarantined from since January, so I'm good. No coronavirus here now.
Yeah, you had to tell people. You see, you're telling people your secret. That is the problem. We just tell people all our secrets sometimes. All the secret they have to know. So, Lynn, how you been for the week? What have you been up to?
Well, I've been looking at the protests. It's depressing, but hey, making you angry. But hey, something needs to be done, right?
Yeah,
something needs to be done.
So we got some of our supporters that have been writing into us. Hold on. Some people get this, so I don't know what's happening. I don't know what's happening, guys. Okay, Lynn, load on your
I took it off. I took it off.
All right, so Lacey J already started on us already, but we have a lot to talk about. Right, Lacey J, we go talk about all of that stuff. So I got a chance to look at part of the video, right? Part of the video of the police brutally murdering this guy. It's no shot of what it is. That's what it is. They killed the guy. They freaking brutally killed the guy. He had no right to put his knee on the guy. He practically cracked the guy's neck and he killed the guy. Right? And we just want to start. I just want to start by saying condolences to the family. And it's upsetting. I could understand why everybody is. I've seen this before. We have been through this so many times. We have seen it just a few months ago in a few years ago in Staten Island. We've seen it. Amo Luima. It's just too much. So I could understand the eruption. I could understand the anger. I could understand the frustration. I could understand all of these things that people are venting right now. I could understand the frustration. All right. And that's the first thing I want to say. I want to say a lot of other things. But let me start by saying that I could understand the frustration that everybody is going through right now, because I'm frustrated, especially when, you have to explain to your young ones, your kids, about what's happening. What is this? Why? What do I now do? Should I be scared of the police, or is the police my friend? What do we tell our young ones? Because we can't really explain what's happening. So, Lynn, from your perspective, what's your take on the looting situation? What's your take on what happened there in Minneapolis? Well,
I mean, the looting situation, I think is wrong.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, we still need food, we still need the supermarkets and, so I think that part was wrong, burning down some of the buildings and I think it's wrong, but I understand where they're coming from. They're angry. you know. So I think that part is wrong. I was reading up on some stuff today, and a police officer, he said, I have been training police officers for over 12 years now, and with more than 25 years of service, this is a common mistake and poor technique often made by police officers. The knee is not supposed to go across the nape of the neck. Most common when the suspect is assisting by bucking or bridging. He said that the knee has to angle across the shoulder blades during the handcuffing. This was a mistake or misstep, not on the act of murder. He also stated that the cause of death were more likely to be positional asphyxia or excited delirium. This individual was he said that this individual more likely had health condition and toxic in his blood. So he doesn't see it as the knee is killing, you know, that's, you know, the way he sees it is different. So.
Right.
Yeah.
No, the sad thing about it is that when I look at it, I don't understand why they have to, he had to put his knee on his neck, because he was already neutralized. If he was a target, the target was already neutralized. He had him in handcuff.
Right.
So at that point, I don't see the need for any other that type of restraint, right? So that you see, that is the frustrating part, Lynn, because it seems like whenever we have situation like this, like the guy one time, he was in his car and I think the passenger was reaching for his cell phone and they shot him.
Yeah.
We have situation like that happening over and over. I don't know if the police and them getting overexcited, or the police and them, they go into work and they're just so angry at whatever the situation is that the next black person that they see in their midst, they just feel like they don't see them as a human being. They see them as an animal. They see them as somebody that they don't value their life. And so they have no regards for them. They have no regards for them.
That's true.
And I don't understand, after you neutralize the person so much so that they're in handcuff, why the excessive force? And that is rough, and it's hard to even understand. And I haven't looked at the whole thing, by the way. I saw the first part of it and I just couldn't take it. You know, it angers a lot of people. Now, you had something that was posted earlier from a police officer. Was that what you just read there? A black police officer?
No, I think I sent it to you, right?
Yeah.
Let me see if I could get it.
Yeah, while you try to get there, we got a call on the line. Caller, where are you calling us from? Hello?
Thank you.
Hi. Hello.
Yeah, hi. How are you doing? You're live on the air.
Hey, Julia.
Hi.
Listen, one of the things that I saw today is that it was a $20 that this guy went to the store with.
Yeah.
And they suspect it to be counterfeit.
Right.
Now, anybody can receive a $20 bill from somewhere and not even recognize that it's counterfeit.
Right.
Now, why would you call the police on a man for just that? I don't get it.
Yeah.
I asked myself the same question this evening too. It was just a fake $20 bill.
I looked at the police officer with his knee on the man's neck. And even when the bystanders were saying, "You're killing him," he was saying that he can't breathe. He just turned and looked at the crowd and kept his knee there.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. It's just wrong. And now they are trying to find all kind of excuses. No excuse. No excuse. It is plain to see.
Yeah. Caller, well, I'll keep you on the line for a little bit longer, right? Because although the act itself is inexcusable, there is no way that anyone could excuse what happened. The police officers deserve to be not only fired from their job, I believe they're supposed to be also
Arrested.
charged.
Yeah.
Right? I believe that they, if not life imprisonment, they're supposed to hit the death penalty, especially that one police officer. But every one of them participated one way or another. Right? With that said, what do you think about the protest actions after the fact? What do you think about the current situation, the current protest that is happening right now, where they're burning down buildings? I hear that I saw a video that they were some folks went into Planet Fitness and was stealing treadmills and a whole bunch of other stuff. AutoZone is on fire. What do you think of this action that happened after the incident?
You see, that's the problem, because we could protest, but look at what they are doing. And people might not agree with me, but they use this as an excuse to do crimes. And so when they do that, they belittle the entire, they make it look like something different. Because now the situation turns to where they're looting.
Yeah.
They're setting fires. They're doing all of those things. So the whole purpose of the protest is now changed completely.
Yeah.
And it's so I certainly don't condone what they're doing with the looting and the fire setting and so on. What about a peaceful protest? I think it would mean more if those things are not done.
Well, you have a point there, right? But a lot of people would say, like Lacey J was saying, peaceful protest is something that was tried already. People try peaceful protesting. People try all of these things, but it's just not working. They're angry. People are angry and fed up with what's happening there. And peaceful.
I'm angry.
Yeah.
I cried when I saw it. I'm angry. Yeah.
Yeah. But you're saying that the whole eruption and the looting and all of that stuff, it changed the whole narrative now. The whole question as to what happened now, it's a total different kind of thing that's going on. And you know what, caller?
Exactly.
You know what, caller? I agree with you. I agree that right now, right, this whole situation is not in keeping with George Floyd, because as far as what they said, he's not that person. He's not a violent person.
He was an activist.
He was an activist that spoke out possibly against the same exact thing that is happening right now.
Against violence, against guns and everything. Yes.
So if people want to honor him in his name, they wouldn't do exactly what he spoke out about or what he stands for. So I disagree where people are out there and they're setting fires and the problem is they're damaging their own neighborhoods.
That's correct.
They're literally damaging and setting fires to their own neighborhoods. So what would happen is simple. They would have to live in that same neighborhood. After everything is said and done, they would have to go back and live in that same neighborhood. Probably the AutoZone.
I know a lot of people don't want us to talk about the looting,
right?
But we have to talk about everything. We have to be honest in our conversation.
Right. So Denisa John is saying, so what do we do? What do we do, right, in a situation like that? And I can understand it gets frustrating. And again, guys, that's just my personal opinion. I want you guys to share yours as well. But I think the problem is bigger than what we see in here. The problem is much bigger than police officers just killing black people. Because we as a community, we don't even love ourselves. We don't even love our brothers and sisters. We don't even show love for the people that look like us, that is right next to us. We don't even show love for them.
That's true. And you know, I was saying, I mean, instead of looting, I just think that we as Black people living here, I think we should just come together and well, then again, supporting our own. But then again, like you said, we don't even like our own people. So, I mean, if we could have come together and support our own, then we don't have to go to the white, the like Target and all these places, right? Because they're run by what, white people? So I mean, if we
let me even say it further. Let me say this further. If you have a white man and a Black man walk into a store, our people will go to the white person first and ask, "May I help you?"
Yeah. And that is a point. Now, Lacey J said that, Junior, you have been talking about looting too much. You are changing the narrative and fulfilling their agenda. Right. But in everything, right? In every action, there is a reaction, right? Lacey J.
Right.
Now, the fact is, the police officers that murdered this guy should be dealt with by the full extent of the law. They should get the death penalty for the rest of their life, not just fire. They should get the death penalty, right? And that is the facts.
And I believe that. Here's the reason why. They lied in the first instance and said that he was resisting arrest. From the video that is now released, you can see that this man was peaceful. They took him out of the car, they handcuffed him, walked him across the street, had him sit near the wall. Then they picked him up and was taking him to the car. Now, they're not showing what happened between his walk to the car and seeing him on the ground with the police officer's foot on his neck. They're not showing that.
Right.
So they lied, and as a result of that, I think that's why they were fired. But we need more than them being fired.
Yes.
They have to be brought to justice.
They have to be. And we should not stop until they're brought to justice.
They're brought to justice.
And that is a fact. And we ain't diluting from that. We ain't moving from that. That is the fact. But I want to look I want to look a little bit deeper, right? Because our community is a very reactive community. We're quick to react to something at the spur of the moment, and then next week, as long as it's not on CNN no more, then we forget about it.
Yes.
Because I've been through sit-ins, I've been through walk-ins, I've been through lanes, I've been through protests, I've been there and out there, and where it happens, it goes away, and we go back to regular life. We forget about this in the next few weeks. So very reactive. But the thing about it is, what we need to do, right, is for a more long term, is to see how we could fix this problem in a more long term basis. We need to treat ourselves the way how we want people to treat us. We need to treat ourselves and our community the way how we want people to treat us. If people see that you're treating yourself like garbage, they'll treat you like garbage. We treat our own people like garbage. And that's the facts.
Yes.
That's the facts of it.
And we treat our own things like garbage.
Yes.
If we treat each other with the respect that we are due, you'll see that they will have no choice but to treat us the same way.
Yes.
That's true.
You ever been to a party, right? And people dress up in their suit and their tie and everything, right? And they dress up and they dress real nice and thing. And when you go to that party, they behave a certain way. They behave a certain kind of way. And then take that same people and put them in a basement party with a different kind of dress code. And they behave a different way. Right? Mm-hmm. So the mindset change depends on the environment that they're in, right? And that's why I believe I see it all the time. You take the same people and they say you're having a 40s or over 40 party, dress all black tie or whatever the case is. They come, man, they act all night. No fight breaking out inside of there, nothing, because everybody acting a certain way because they feel in that certain way. They're in a different environment. The fact of the matter is, when you keep your environment, when you keep your area, when you keep your mindset a certain way, people treat you a certain way. You get a certain kind of feedback from people, right? But
Julian, let me tell you something. We must love ourselves, and that's the problem. We do not love ourselves enough.
Yes, and you are right.
You know, it's not about how someone treats us. We have to first know our self-worth.
Yes.
And when we know how much we're worth, then we know what we will take from someone else.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. I mean, and I don't want to sugarcoat the fact, and I want everybody to get this clear. We're not sugarcoating the fact of what happened to this young man. And I don't want to make it seem as if we were not sensitive to his plot and what he went through and what his family is going through right now. But I'm telling you, we need to treat ourselves and our communities better. It has to start there. It has to start here. It has to start here, because even when we go into our own communities, there is a lot of black on black crimes. A lot of gun violence that involve black and black in our very own community, killing one another. And we don't have this big uproar and this big protest, right? I'm not saying that is right when it happens if it's black and black, or when it happens on white and black, or police or green and black, whatever it is. It's wrong, it's wrong, it's wrong, it's wrong. But it goes back to us, and it goes back to how we treat ourselves, how we treat our community. Henceforth, we see how other people treat us. And that is what it is.
But I'm going to also say this, Junior. One of the things that is a problem also, when our people reach in positions of authority, they completely forget their people. And we need to hold them responsible. We need to hold them responsible. So to make sure that they do things in order to help us.
Right. Yeah. Caller, listen, you know, I mean, I could chat with you forever, but I want to clear up the line so we can have more people call in, so we could talk a little bit more about this. But we appreciate your calling. We appreciate your input on this topic. Thank you so much, caller.
Thank you so much.
Guys,
okay,
all right. Guys, we're talking about this topic here, the topic of this young man, George Floyd. This man died at the hands of police. Very, very sad incident. We've seen this scenario before. We've seen this played out before. All right. And we're looking at the aftermath as what's happening right now. We're looking at riots. We're looking at police. We're looking at looting. We're looking at a whole explosion of a community. All right. And although there is the action of these police officers, is the reaction going to solve the problem, right? Is the reaction of the looting, of going into the gym, fitness, whatever the gym is there, and still in treadmill, is that going to stop police officers from killing us? Is that at the end of the day going to stop police officers from coming into our community and killing our black brothers and sisters? And that is what we're trying to get. So, guys, if you have input on the topic, we want you guys to call in. We want you guys to disagree with us, or agree, or say whatever is on your mind. We want to hear what you have to say. The number that you call is right there, 718-701-5720. Paula Modest is saying, why do black not doing that to whites? Lynn, I don't know if you want to chime in there. And I know I said a mouthful.
I have no idea. I can't speak on that one.
Yeah.
I have no idea why black does. I have no idea, Paula. I have no idea.
Oh, we got a call on the line. Caller, you live.
Good evening, guys. Hi, Junior. This is Deanne.
Yeah, go ahead, Deanne.
Hi, Lynn. Good evening.
Hey,
Dee.
Hey. So I wanted to chime in just a little bit.
Uh-huh.
I understand all the sensitivity or all the hype of what's happening right now, but I would like to first start off by saying I feel very sad, and I'd like to share my condolences to the family of George. As a woman as a black woman, let me say this, with predominantly male figures in my family.
Mm-hmm.
I am extremely hurt and angry that this has happened again.
Yes.
And although they'll expect us to react with violence, because that's how we're labeled all the time, we're always considered angry Black people.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm one of the person who would say, I do not believe in fighting back by burning stuff. Let's burn the pocket of the people who continue to try to dominate, the people who are racist against Black people.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? That man was killed. He was murdered in broad daylight in the presence of everybody else. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And we need to, what we need to be careful about is not get distracted.
Mm-hmm.
I know we're angry, but let's not get distracted, right? By burning and tarnishing and looting. I mean, how do you equate looting with losing a Black man? With losing a man to murder? Right?
Yeah.
Lynn, I heard you were trying to explain the piece you were reading, death by asphyxia. That's nonsense. All they're trying to tell us, he was murdered.
Yeah.
They cracked his trachea open. I have a feeling that's what they did with his knee on top of it and cut off the man's air circulation immediately. Right? That's a whole pile of crap. I am angry enough to say, yes, let's all go out and protest and loot and tear up the place. But my thing is, let's hit them where it hurts the most, the pocket.
Right.
Okay?
Yes. And I want to address, while you're on the phone, I want to address, Peter just posted, he said, no one said that it's going to solve the problem as it relates, I guess, as it relates to the looting and the rioting that's happening. No one said that solved the problem, but let them take the frustration out. You all met it and will leave, racism will never go away. We met it and racism will never go away. Yes, but Peter, let me just say this, right? Okay, so let me show you the scenario. This happened and we go out. I live on this block here and I'm so frustrated. I go around this block and I start to damage properties. I go around this block and I start to damage businesses and I start to break windows and I start to damage my own property and I start to just damage things that's within my community here. At the end of the day, all the frustration is gone, right? Next week, next 2 weeks, next 3 weeks, next month or so, where do I live? Where do I have to go back and live? I have
Where
to
you get food from, right?
On my same block that I just damaged. And you know what's gonna happen? That area that you live in would be downgraded. That area that you live in, ain't no businesses coming back inside, no serious businesses coming back inside there in a hurry. I've been to a place in Maryland, Baltimore, Maryland, and half of that block, that area there, it's houses, like 10, 15 houses, just abandoned, right? Just abandoned. Ain't nobody living over there. You go 5 blocks away, it's like big, nice residential houses and stuff like that. So this area is abandoned. Ain't nobody living there. And you know what happens there? Over time, who getting raped or kidnapped and stuff in a corner in some old house in the stash there because they're abandoned. So at the end of the day, you go and you're damaged, and I understand we're frustrated. I understand that we're upset. I understand that we can't take it no more. But is it right then for we to damage our own house? It's like you get upset in your own house and you start to break up your mirror, you break up your TV,
Exactly.
you smash up your VCR, and I say, you know what, I'm going to mash up my computer. And tomorrow I have to come back live and I don't have a computer to come back live on. What am I going to do next? The truth and the fact of the matter is, go ahead.
That's fully understood. And as I said, while we become angry over everything, I think we should shift the focus back to George. Let's talk about what type of person he was.
Yes.
I know they said he was an activist. He was a lawyer. I wish we could have, or at least let's attempt to take the focus back to George and what he was like and his lifestyle. And because all we know about George is what I just mentioned to you before. I don't know anything much about that gentleman. And
right.
Let's not have them win and continue to label us as a set of folks who have little skills when it comes to anger management.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So Any questions for me before I exit
No, all right.
left? And for the gentleman who just called us a bunch of ass-licking niggers, I have asked him to leave the live right now. I am not going to be tolerating anyone coming in here and adding insult to injury. Okay? Thank you very much. That is for Mr. Mohammed. If you cannot have respect for the show, I suggest you leave.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Moderator.
Thank you.
All right. So I still want to open up the phone lines and take more calls. Anyone that has an input on the topic, the number that you call in, 718-701-5720. That's 718-701-5720. And the thing about it is, guys, what I want everybody to understand, this is not a passive approach. This is not taking a passive approach. Somebody cuff you on the right side, they just turn the left side and they cuff you on the left side. Now, that's not the approach that I'm taking. I'm talking about, listen, instead of doing that, there have to be more proactive ways that we can make things happen other than damage our own institution, our own neighborhoods. That's what I'm saying. Let me give you guys an idea, right? Now, we as Black people, there's a lot of Black people that are millionaires, producers, artists, a lot of people in our community. They are millionaires. Some of them are even billionaires. Jay-Z and a couple other rappers, they're billionaires. Now think about if we were to use our economics to support our own community. Think about how stronger it will make our own community. This is protesting, this is looting without going and breaking bottles, you know. This is now taking your economical power and putting it back into your own community. This is looting, this is rioting without breaking one bottle. This is now building up your community instead of breaking down your community. This is about enhancing your neighborhood other than making it worse at the end of the day. We could now invest in Black institutions, Black banks. We don't have one goddamn media company. BET is not Black owned. We don't have a media company. We don't have nothing. So the politicians and them know that we are already gullible. We already don't have anything. They don't even focus on us. It's not necessary. Because what? Who are we going to run and cry to? Nobody. We'll go and jump and scream in Manhattan and break bottles and throw stuff for 2 weeks. And the police and them saying, they're only going to do that for 2 days. And they're going to stop soon. And that's exactly so we've been taken for granted. We don't do nothing that is solid. We don't do nothing that is solid that could make a difference, right? All of this stuff is just reactive stuff. Reactive stuff. And it doesn't make a difference. How much times we do it, it's still going to happen because we still don't have no power at the end of the day. We have less power at the end of the day. It's just a different way to think about it. If you're only thinking about fighting because they fight at us and not thinking about how to actually get to the root of it and dig it out of the ground, we go always keep going to this, people. We go always keep going to this. But I want to hear what you guys got to say. Input at any point. 718.
All right. So I have something from the police officer. What he wrote, right? He said, I am a Black police officer certified by the state of Georgia. It doesn't matter what race, what situation, or what obstacles we conquer on our daily duties. At the end of the day and the end of my shift, when the badge comes off, I am still human. I do not, nor will I condone an officer misconduct in my present or under any circumstances. I will speak up. I take off my uniform and heavy boots, the overweight belt, put on my street clothes. Who am I now? Am I still getting the free meals paid for by strangers, those randoms? Thank you for your service, ma'am. The excitement from the young child that only wants a hug. We can't hide behind the badge and still expect change. We have to speak up for each other to promote change, and that starts in the community and neighborhoods. Mistreating people will never result in nothing good. There are people who commit crimes, but taking someone else's life, especially when they're not resisting or threat to you, is completely bull. I couldn't live with myself knowing taking a life for no reason. One officer can give a bitter taste about officers all over the world. And I don't think And I don't like it for the officers that are doing an outstanding job. I am totally against police officer misconduct. And I don't care if you don't like it, because at the end of the day, when I take everything off, I'm still black.
Right. And that police officer there is speaking from
Justice for Floyd. Yeah, justice for Floyd.
I really want to get back on focus with speaking about Floyd and the good person that he was and what he represents. But we cannot speak about Floyd and what he represents and not speak about what is happening right now. We cannot isolate what's happening right now from the issue. The fact of the matter remain, right? These police officers, even the police officer who stood there and watched it, should get life in prison. He was equally a part of the murder that occurred of this young man. They deserve to be locked up for life, if not the death penalty.
Do you really think that's going to happen?
Well, you see, the thing about it is, and it goes back to the whole thing, goes back to the whole question as to maybe nothing would happen. And that is going to be even worse, right? Because we've seen situations where police officers shooting unarmed black men and getting away.
You know, the mayor of Louisiana, he just wrote something, and he said, if you are talking about the incident in Minnesota, I didn't see anything unreasonable. If you can say you can't breathe, you're breathing. Most likely that man died of overdose or heart attack. Video doesn't show his resistance that got him in that position. Police are crucified. Think about it before rushing to judgment.
And that is sad.
Coming from a mayor.
That is sad. That is sad. And that is the sad part. Listen, guys, they don't respect us. They don't respect us. They don't care about us. They don't love us. Listen, we have to care about ourselves. We have to protect ourselves. We have to be a part of a community that look out for each other. Because nobody else going to look out for us. If we think that other community or this other community go shadow us and protect us, that's not going to happen. Right? Because from what Lois just read there from the police officer, it clearly shows the direction of defense. They're going to say that the police felt like he needed to protect himself.
No, that's the man.
And he was somehow, maintaining the fact that he don't want the guy to attack him. That's the defense. And on that defense, it's quite possible that he might put up a good defense and even get away with it. And he might walk. We've seen it before. And that is the sad, sad, sad part. Right? Well, I want to song racist or anything, right? Think about if it was somebody else in another community, say a more affluent community that happened to you. Think they could ever get away with that?
No.
They probably could never get away with that. Because who know somebody in political clout, and who know have a whole big organization who contribute to millions of dollars or so to a political campaign, and who know how to play the in and out and get to certain people, and that could never happen. That could never happen in our community. Besides, most of the time in our community, why is that? Why is that what's happening in our community? Why is it happening in our community? Right? And it comes back to, we cannot get away from the big picture of talking about why is it happening in our community if we don't talk about us as a community not coming together, associating and binding and building together. We have to talk about it. We have to talk about it. Why is it that we cannot build? Why is it that we cannot grow together? Why is it that we always think about one person rising up in our community? You have to pull him back down, fall him, drop him straight back to the ground. Why we always fighting amongst ourselves? Why is so much black on black crimes in our community. All of this stuff, we cannot isolate the conversation of talking about what is happening in our community without talking about why is it happening in our community. Why is it happening in our community? That is the conversation. Anyway, guys, I want you guys to call in 718. Don't only be a chat room version. I want you guys to call in as well. 718-701-5720. That's 718-701-5720. We're talking about this topic right here. A black man, George Floyd, was murdered by police officers, and it is happening as we speak. I think I even have a video of it. It is happening as we speak, where the whole city, if I could find a clip of it, the whole city as is right now, people are protesting. People are protesting. They're burning cars. They're lighting AutoZone on fire. People are upset. And I understand exactly why they're upset. We understand why everybody's upset. But we're trying to have a conversation here now as to what we could do going forward as a community to ensure that this thing doesn't happen again. How could we rally ourselves? How could we support ourselves? What do we need to do? And it's burning cars, going in the gym and stealing treadmills and destroying our community the way to go to find answers for this question right here. 718-701-5720. Lynn, if you see any comments there that you want to read out, feel free to do so. They're coming to me kind of fast and furious. If you see anything there you want to isolate and read, go right ahead.
So my question is, how did we get here though? How did we get there, and where do we go from here?
And that is the question. That is the $1 million question, right? How did we get here? And I don't think I have an answer to that question, because a lot of people would say it's leadership, right? A lot of people would say it's leadership, and there's a problem with leadership. But even when we had Barack Obama in leadership, situations were still happening, right? I saw a video where in 2018, where Trump was at a police graduation, some ceremony or whatever, and he was telling police officers, don't be too nice with them.
Yeah, and he was there.
Yeah.
He was right up in front.
Oh, that police officer was there too?
That police officer was right up in front. And you know what? He got a hat on that says, "Make America White Again."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right.
He was right up at the front.
Yeah. Janelle Simon is saying this goes way back to slavery days, and it quite possibly is true. But you wouldn't believe, right, the amount of financial power black people have. It's just that we don't use it. We don't use the power that we have. Think about if the affluent black people with the financial power, the financial backing behind them, were to take out all their resources, right, and move it out of the whichever other banks and move it into black banks. Move it into banks that are black owned. Think about the financial power that is going to bring to a community. Think about the amount of financial power we could have. I'm telling you, this is looting without breaking a glass. This is rioting without throwing a stone. This is how you have to fight, because this is how other community fight. Other community, when they get upset, they say, okay, no problem. I just don't support your political campaign. I just don't be a part of your organization. And that person is speaking for themselves. They're speaking for the thousands of people within the community, because they're together. They're together as a block. They're together as a force. So when I say we ain't supporting, that means that our community is not supporting. But talk about our black community, and where could we say that we have an association, a black power force that we could say, no, you know what? We have the power that if you do certain things, if you lobby government and we do certain things, we're not going to support. We don't have that type of power, and it's sad. It's sad. It's sad that we don't have that power, and we're so powerful as a people. Anyway, guys, 718-701-5720. I still want to take your calls. 718-701-5720. Call in, chime in. Let us hear what you have to say. This person writing caps. I don't know if you could grab onto it, Lynn. They're writing caps. They're very Lydia.
That's why
very, very, very upset.
Lydia Gibbs. That's why when people in power saying they see Floyd was talk so nothing was wrong with him, talking bullshit. The looting and burning were done because we all know at the end of the day the cops will walk.
Yeah. It's quite possible, right? But here's a question. When they loot, and they say we're talking about looting and stuff too much, but I want to ask this last question on the topic. When they do this thing in their own community, what next? What is the next thing? Like what next after that? Then what? Then what? Because you have to be strategically planned. You have to plan strategically. You can't just just make a decision. You have to think about strategic planning. Then what?
Yeah. A lot of people been asking, there's nothing we can do, but of course there's things we can do, but we just don't want to do it. How do we start? You know?
Yeah. I listen, I think that it goes back to our financial power, because we do have a lot of financial power. If Black people as a whole, as a block, decide not to spend for, say, around a certain holiday season or a certain time, we decide to withhold our funds or not go out and shop, think about the economical impact that it would have, right? Not only on the economy. On the economy. Do you know in Atlanta, Georgia, I believe, that is the weave capital of the world, is a multi-billion-dollar industry, and who buy the most weave? Black people.
Hey, mine come from Wuhan.
Yeah, well, okay, but you see, the thing about it is we have so much financial power, right? But we do not use it within our own community to build our own community. And before the other person see another Black person using their strength to move up the ladder, instead of we supporting them, we're quick to say, you're moving up too far, you're moving up too fast, we have to break you down. And you're laying flat on the back. And what you just did, you kill a potential community pillar. You kill a community pillar. You kill a community pillar. We have the power, but we just choose not to use it, or we just don't know how to use the power. But we have the power. The truth and the fact is that we have the power. We do.
We do.
Angus, Lynn?
Well, it's really not their community in the grand scheme of things. If you do not own the businesses and control the local governors in the inner cities, you can't say it's your community.
Right. Point taken. But here's what's gonna happen. Sometimes I go to certain communities and I ask, why don't we not have like fresh fruits and vegetables in like the Bronxville community? You would drive down the Bronxville community and you would see a lot of KFC, Kana's fried chicken, this fried chicken, that fried chicken, all kind of things. It's not our people that own these businesses, but these businesses, they study our people, and they put things in our community that they know that we want. But you go to another community, you drive a little forward, you go up Shipstead Bay and all of that stuff. Every other stop, you don't see no Kana's fried chicken, you don't see no this and Chinese food and all that stuff. You're seeing fresh fruits and vegetables. You're seeing Starbucks. You're seeing all of these things. Why are these people analyzing our the communities and not putting this stuff in the affluent communities? You know why? Because they say, we don't want it here. We don't want it here. We don't want it here. You think you could go and put a Cana's fried chicken up in Sheepshead Bay? People are not going to support it, and they might rally the mayor or the district leader to get it out of there because they don't want it.
They don't want it, yeah.
They have fresh fruits and vegetables and all of these different things and that is what they have over there. Right?
Man, and we so love the junk food, right?
And we love and they study us, you know. They study us. They study
all the junks come into the poor community, right?
And said again, we don't vote. We sit back and we say, you know, man, you know, I ain't gonna say we as because I can't say everybody. Everybody, I mean, black people vote not in the large numbers as the other communities, but we have power that we don't use. We don't rally, we don't support, and we do not come together. We have a problem. Our problem is we do not know how to work together as a community and build together as a community. We always fighting. We always fighting at each other, pulling and tug of warring at each other. I know a story of a person, an Indian family who went to Toronto, Mississauga. 10 of them. They came from Pakistan and they went to Mississauga. And 10 of them live in one apartment building for about 6-8 months, almost a year. They live in Mississauga in this one apartment building. 10 of them. Who's sleeping on the floor? Who's sleeping here? Who's sleeping there? They save up all their money. Then one of them move out. They buy a house. The rest of them save up. Next year or so. The next one move out. They buy a house. And so on. Within a space of a couple of years period, they almost buy the whole entire block going down so. Think about it as a black person right now. When have you ever seen a story where we could use our resources at how them Indians and them other communities and them just use their resources, and next thing you know, they buy the whole block. Look at Eastern Parkway area. You know what happening over there?
Oh yeah.
The whole place. Almost every house is owned by a certain community. They didn't just start like that, but that's what it is now.
That's true.
Because they use the economics, they understand. You have to stoop to conquer. You have to stoop to conquer. You have to relax. You have to work together. You have to come together as a community to conquer, to build. But we're too quick to fight. I'm telling all you. If 15 of us sit down right now and we say, you know what, every month, we'll put $200 in a bucket. Every month I put 200, you put 200, everybody put 200. At the end of the year, we have some kind of whatever, and this person get that all the money in the bucket to go and buy a house, invest in a house. You ever see our community doing something like that? But other communities just do that all the time. That's how they're able to move forward and build in strength and numbers. But we too quick looking back at our shoulders and say, no, I don't like he. I don't work with he. I don't do nothing with he. I have to be on top. I have to be the boss. I have to be the chief. I have to be the one that make the decision. No, you can be the one. No, well, I can't work with you. All of a sudden, the whole thing mash up. Whole thing turn kalaloo. Because we cannot work together. So this is more so a further conversation than just George Floyd. It's more of a conversation of how we as a community could come together, work together, and stop the crab in the barrel syndrome. That is what it is. Crab in the barrel. And that's what goes back to slavery, you know? That's what the mentality that goes back to the slavery times. Because during the slavery times, even some of the black affluent people who was in position was suing, and the same black people that they had, that they were seeing over. So the masters and them used to put the same black people to see over the own slave, and they feel like they are the hippie, they above, and they're treating the black people as slave, and they're black their own self. They're black their own self. So we have that mentality that we feel like we're better. We're better than another black brother because we're in a better position than them, and they can't tell me nothing because I have more clothes, I have more education, I know more people, I have more money. All of these things they have in our head because what was put into us by slavery. But at the end of the day, what they would come and tell you is, you black the same way. You are black the same way.
Can I ask a question? Do you think it's hard being black in America?
Listen, I think it's all a mindset, right? I think personally, we cannot allow our skin color to block us from getting where we need to be. I think you could go as far as you need to be as long as you're persistent and you work hard, and you have to be creative. Now, we tell ourselves, nah, I ain't gonna do this because I ain't gonna reach no way with it. I'm not gonna get there because I'm not gonna reach no way with it. And that right there is just fall out short, because besides all the pressure, we now put our added pressure on ourselves. We basically telling ourselves that we can't get there to that point. So it's not hard. I ain't gonna say it's hard. It's harder. I guess it might be easier, I should say, if you are affluent person, or a person that have some kind of opportunities, or some person who was born with their grandparents give them $2 million to start their life. It's a easier process because you basically started off with a kickstart. A lot of us, we came and we are here and we have to start from scratch and fight uphill. On top of the fact that somebody calling, let me see if they're calling for the program on WhatsApp. Hello?
This Ridealong?
Yeah, this Ridealong. You calling for the program?
Yeah.
All right, go ahead, caller. You're live on you're on the WhatsApp. Go ahead.
Okay.
Load on the background audio though. Load on your background audio. All right, go ahead.
Okay. So, to Lloyd's point about if it's had been being black in America, it is very hard being black in America. That's how the system is being set up. When we talk about white privilege, it is real.
Yes.
There is white privilege outside there, and I've seen it in my job working in corporate, that I have to work twice as hard as my white colleague in order for me to be successful, in order for me to get that raise of pay, in order for me to get that promotion.
And you know what, caller? Being black and a woman in corporate, I've heard it's even worse.
It is definitely. It's even worse. Like recently we had like, my company's a startup and we have been for like probably 10 years now. And the first time we had a person of color who became a regional director. And even today we had a call, like we had a town hall meeting in regards to George Floyd and what happened in Central Park. And if you look at what the woman did when she said she's gonna call and say a black
African American,
it's troubling me. So it's really hard being a black man in America, and I think we have to change the narrative that we cannot work together. We can work together. We can do it. But the system is not set up where we can do that, because for the most part we have to fight. Like it's a struggle. It's hard.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely. Caller, and we want to address that. I also want to address. I'm seeing a viewer over on YouTube, Alan.
Adam McCool, yeah.
Yes, and I'm watching the comment over there in on YouTube. Adam, thanks for your correspondence. But I just wanna address a couple things, Adam. First of all, I firmly believe that this conversation that we're having here is about building a community. And whenever you sit around the table, whether with your family or your brothers or your sisters, you talk about things that we could do as a community to uplift ourselves. And if you're talking to your family or you're talking to your community about lifting themselves, there is no racism in encouraging them to uplift and to mobilize and build their esteem. So this is not racism. This is not reverse racism, as you put it. All right. Me personally, I have a lot of Caucasian friends, black friends, the Indian friends, Chinese, Japanese. I hate nobody, right? So I don't believe it's reverse racism, and I would love to get your input on it. You're free to call in. I want to hear your views on it. 718-701-5720. So Adam, you're free to call in, and we'd like to hear your point on the topic right there that we're discussing. All right. What else? We are a little bit over time there. Education is important, but changing the mindset is equally important. And that is true. The mindset. We have to change our mindset. Because if we go through life with the mindset that, you know what, I am going to be, I'm not going to get anywhere because look at the color of my skin. I'm not going to get anywhere because XYZ. I'm going to be pulled over. I'm going to be stopped before I be successful. I'm not going to make it. Then you're already creating a border, a block right in front of you. So tell yourself that you will make it. I tell myself all the time that nothing going to stop me. Whatever I plan to do, whatever I choose to do, I would find a way to get it done. I would do whatever I need to do to get where I need to go. And I've worked with many odd communities, and I've never worked a day in my life in corporate. I've always built my own entities. I've always self-employed. That's my drive. That's what I want to do, and that worked for me, right? So guys, anything else? I know we a little bit over time. I just got an indication about my light that we're over time. Anything else you wanted to jump on, Lois?
No, I just want to read what Colin Kaepernick said in his tweet a few minutes ago. He said, "When civility leads to death, revolting is the only logical reaction. The cries for peace will rain down, and when they do, they will land in deaf ears because your violence has brought this resistance. We have the right to fight back."
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But we're saying that, and I'm saying that in fighting back, we must have a plan. We must have a plan. You don't go into a ring and start to fight, and you don't have a plan on how you will win or how you become victorious. You don't just go in there and start pelting punches left, right, and center and not knowing of how you would actually get that uppercut to actually land it. And I'm saying that personally, I understand that the people are frustrated over there in Minneapolis. I understand that people are angry, very, very angry. But I also understand that this will not end. At the end of the day, it will not bring back, or it wouldn't make anyone treat us better. I don't think so. Because if it was the case, all the time that we protested in the past, and this come happening again, and we probably would see this again. It's sad to say that this might happen again some other time. So all the protesting that we did, and all the protesting on the rioting that have happened in the past, it didn't change anything. I think what needs to change.
I was about to ask that same thing. Yeah.
Yeah. What needs to change is our approach going forward. Let us hit it in the economical pocket. Let us stop supporting certain businesses, certain companies, certain entities, and let's start now building our own cooperation. Let us now focus on, and I know people might say, "Oh, we can't do that now," but it takes one step at a time. If we never start, we're going to never finish. We're going to never know how it is to finish. But we have to start right now, all right? All the big corporations, all the big businesses, all the millionaires, everybody, they need to move the economical power from those big corporate banks and move it into black banks and support black businesses, support community businesses.
But there's only a few black banks, right? It's not much.
Right. Well, they support community businesses and start by supporting your own corporate, your own businesses within your own community. Start by supporting that. And let's take it from that point of view. A lot said there. We're a little bit over time. Lynn, thank you again for joining me on another Dear Riders segment right here on Ride Along. Last words, Lynn?
I mean, you know, let's just love one another, you know, instead of hating on each other. Join the protests, but I mean, just don't burn down stuff, you know, but all is well. God is good. We'll get there. We'll get there.
We'll get there. We'll get there, guys. Be positive. Thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for being a part of our program today, Thursday. We're going to continue the conversation, obviously, on the chat. Peace out, guys. Catch us again tomorrow, right here on Ride Along Live. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.
Hey, did you know that the census is due this year on April 1st? And guess what? This time we can finally count as Caribbean. This year, all you have to do is 1. Check the race box, and 2. Write in your country of birth or ancestry. You can answer by the paper form, online, or by phone. Everybody counts in Census 2020. So count as Caribbean. Yes, we count.